Hey friends, it's Beth here with Aging Care Solutions, offering experienced professional guidance and also personal experience with not only caregiving but just life in general. I've lived through and have run across many different scenarios in my life, and I've lived through a lot. I've lived through, losing a lot of family members, childhood trauma, just, being hyper independent, feeling like I could only rely on myself, that I would get things done right, and not only that, that I could trust myself. That's been the really big thing in my life is trust, because I have been betrayed in many different ways in my life. And so I'm taking all these lessons that I have learned, and I'm trying to become the best version of myself that I can be, because one of the goals that I have in my life before my life ends is really to have a loving, healthy relationship with a partner. And I think over the years I always I settled for so many things in my life, and I decided that I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be this people pleaser, somebody who is always there to help everybody, somebody who's, I've had to actually go from caring for young children who are now young adults, and then also a parent who was for many years needed oversight and safety because she had dementia. But I've always been a caregiver since the time I was just a young kid. I mean, I think I started babysitting at the age of 9 because I've always just felt this, and then as I start to get older and went through therapy at various times and really talked about, this need to feel important in other people's lives, or never feeling, I guess, maybe a sense of love or something. I don't know, because when I look back, I feel like I had such great parents, but then why did I make such horrible choices at some stages of my life is really what I kind of keep landing on. But one of the things that I want to do, especially now that I have lived as many years as I have, and that I really know what I really want the kind of relationship that I've never had, right? I really want to have and figure out what are the key steps, or, what are the guiding principles to help foster an amazing relationship. So I've done some research on this, and I kind of feel like a lot of it, and a lot of the content that I deliver is common sense, but it really isn't, for everybody. But at the same time, not everybody has lived the same lessons and the same situations and experiences that I have. But I think if you have gone through a divorce, or you have had relationships where you feel like the same person has shown up only with a different face on them, and they still have treated you very similarly, and you want to change that, you do have to do some reflecting. You have to kind of realize, oh wow, maybe this was childhood wounding. Maybe because I didn't have a parent in my life, or maybe because my dad left when we were young, or I had both my parents. They were married for 33 years, but there was some situations that took place in my life that I think altered everything that unfolded in my adult life. So what I want to do is use my life experiences to be able to communicate and be patient when I'm engaging with somebody. Now I haven't dated, so I'm really starting to, now that my kids are grown and will be going away to college, I really feel like I'm ready now. And I want to embrace this emotional maturity, right? I really want to figure out how, like I said, to be the best version of myself. And I want to let go of past baggage. Nobody wants to sit there and listen about how horrible their ex was, or what they did. Or, I mean, I think all of these people that have come into our lives were there to teach us lessons, and I definitely have learned. There is no doubt about it. And I don't think that it ultimately serves your happiness to keep rehashing these horrible events, because, it gives you a visceral reaction. It disturbs your sleep, or you know, if I let everything that I went through and endured, the different scenarios and situations that took place over the past 20 years, people would be shocked. People would be like, oh my God, I would have definitely not, but but nobody was in my shoes. Nobody was as 100% dependent on somebody. So after going back to work and really starting to realize that I was not going to be anybody's doormat anymore, I had to practice forgiveness, and I had to do that for myself. I had to really come to a deep understanding of who I was, who I was evolving into, and what was going to be expected of anybody that is going to come into my life now. So I'm a different person. I almost feel like it's so weird, but even though I've always had this maturity level, I feel like I've grown so much in the past 10, even 10 years, 8 years, I would say, since I really was like, okay, I can do this. I can live on my own. Right down the street, we can co-parent, and it was a huge success. And I will say, because of me, it was. I definitely, intently, chose to be down the street so that the kids could ride bikes or walk back and forth, or if anybody forgot anything, we also exchanged garage door openers and keys, and so overall, I think that was a huge success, if you want to look at it that way. But in a horrible situation, it became a success. But what I'm going to be looking for now is to prioritize open, honest communication. I really want to share my needs. I really want to know. And the thing is I've recognized what my needs are now. And communication is absolutely one of those things. And I also want to feel like I shouldn't be worried about who my partner is talking to, and, you know, feel unsafe for any reason. So creating a safe space for both my partner and myself. You want to feel like you're understood and like somebody has your back. And with these regular check-ins, you're going to kind of be able to help each other emotionally, right? And and ideally, by dating, you're going to be able to discern someone's maturity level. You're going to be able to kind of see what their behavior is like, because I've been watching so many content creators, but Dr. John, I think it's Maloney, I think is his last name, talks about behavior being a language. And to me, it is, because you can really see what effort people put into things, right? Do they want to be, physically and emotionally intimate, or are they closed off? Are they not somebody that can express themselves emotionally? Are they afraid? Do they have fears or bad memories from past relationships that are holding them back? But emotional intimacy, is going to deepen that when you can talk about your dreams, and you can talk about things that used to scare you, or, fears that you have about getting into a relationship. I think it's only going to kind of bring you closer. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping anyway. Exploring ways to have a healthy sexual relationship without feeling pressured is another thing that I think, you shouldn't just be getting together for just that anyway. You've got to get to know somebody. And by not really having any fun experiences together, or doing any shared experiences together, I think it's going to cause a problem. I mean, it certainly wouldn't make you feel very special if the only time that you saw somebody is that they really just wanted to drop over and, be intimate. So fostering shared interests and activities. I mean, there's so many great hobbies and different causes and social groups and things like that. I feel like I want to learn how to play pickleball. I haven't done it. I've played tennis. I have a portable badminton net that I've played with my kids. So and I'm very fit, very active. I still like to ride bikes. I would love to get a new pair of rollerblades, but now at my age, I don't know if it's a good idea. But I think planning outings and traveling and doing, day trips, or finding cool places to explore together, you have to do things to see whether or not you have good energy together, right? Or is one person complaining all the time? Is the other person just making zero effort? I mean, there has to be a shared purpose to strengthen any connection. And by fostering shared experiences, that's how you're going to do it. And one of the things that another guy that I follow, he's a psychologist, I believe. He talks about you have to date and relate. You've got to figure out, like, do we have anything in common? Do we, what kind of things do we both like? But also, if you've been independent for a long time, you have to respect each other's independence. And I really do. I'm so good on my own. I almost feel like it'll be a miracle if I do end up. If I do end up, I don't want to say that because I really do want to manifest this beautiful relationship that I have in my mind created. But I do want to encourage personal growth and individual pursuits because I'm always on. I always find something cool that I want to do. Like I started this channel and I don't know, I've got 30 videos. Prior to this, I started another company that I did for a couple years. And then I realized, oh my God, how much work that was. But I did love it. And I can also say that if I were a real big real estate investor, I would have all the knowledge of what I had learned to running that business. So I feel like everything that I'm doing is stepping out on pure faith, and I'm always either having fun or I am helping inspire other people, which, especially when it comes to caring for loved ones or caring for yourself. I mean, I think my channel is going towards more for just caring for ourselves as we age, and that's going to of course include our parents, our spouses, anybody else that we are helping navigate and look for services for. So balancing that independence with whatever freedoms you're going to need to, giving and allowing space for alone time or with individual friend groups, whatever personal hobbies people have. I mean, I don't expect somebody to be holding my hand every time I go to the gym or, but I certainly would love to have somebody that wants to walk with me. And if they can wear their weighted belt, like I've been wearing this weighted vest, oh my God. I never thought I could do it, but I started out with 6 pounds and now I'm up to 12. And I feel the difference. It's really helping me. It's helping my leg strength. My knees feel better. My ankles are feeling better. Anyway, supporting each other's health and well-being, which is the perfect segue from that, is like I want somebody who wants to take care of themselves. I really don't want to, I'm not somebody that wants to sit at a bar. I did that all through my 20s and 30s. Nothing good happens sitting at a bar all night and getting into your car and driving home. So I have different, like I love to entertain. So I would be super happy to have people over, play some awesome music, dance in the kitchen, and make amazing meals or make a charcuterie board and just enjoy life. But it really comes with your health and well-being. And that really means that you would encourage each other to have healthy habits, diet, sleep. Oh my gosh, now that I'm older, I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing better than getting a really great night's sleep. And then I wake up, I'm like, I'm going to make a great coffee. I'm going to sit outside and listen to the birds and sip my coffee and maybe play my little morning meditation prayer. And my likes are so different than, I mean, they've evolved over time, but this is what brings me peace. This is what has brought me a sense of balance and safety over the last 8 years, is me crafting a very peaceful environment for myself and for my kids. And just like a routine. I know that I'm going to go do yoga 2 or 3 times a week. I know that I'm going to walk almost every day. I know that I'll go and probably lift weights twice a week. And then I'm going to try to figure out what can I make? What are my dinners going to be like? So it's like really just looking after my mental health, my physical health, and everything else, my sleep health, my financial health. I mean, all of it gets rolled in there. And I just feel like, being patient with physical and cognitive changes as we age is something that we're all going to have to worry about, something that, we're going to have to support each other on as things change. I know my body's changing. I've looked in the mirror, I'm like, who is that woman? Who is she? And where did my hot self go? But you know what I said to a friend of mine? I said, I had a good run. I had a great run all through my 20s and 30s, actually probably up and into my 40s. But then, life catches up with you and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, thank God for stretchy pants. But anyway, the other things that you'll be mindful of, finding and nurturing a healthy, loving relationship with your future partner, is navigating family dynamics with care. Now, I know that children and grandchildren are going to be a part of my future, and I want them to be. But I think, I also said that I want to manifest someone who won't mind doing things. Like if my ex-spouse is there or his ex-spouse is there, I'm the kind of person that could befriend your ex, and I'm not lying. I'd probably do her hair and help her pick out a great outfit. That's the kind of woman that I am, but not everybody's like that, and not everybody ex-spouse is like that. So navigating those dynamics and setting up healthy boundaries for everybody is something that has to be talked about. If your partner knows that their ex is delulu, as the kids say, and they're not going to be down for having, their children all there and having somebody else new there, laughing and cooking. And I get that. I get that. And I completely support that. I would probably have had trouble with it some time ago, but not anymore. Blending families thoughtfully would be a really great thing to navigate and talk about early. Like, what does that look like? A lot of people do blood families, but it's got to be done with a lot of respect, if you ask me. And my kids, I've already even talked to my kids. I haven't did it. I'm like, so what if I get a boyfriend one of these days? And they're like, well, we think that would be good for you, and of course we want to meet this person. So I think they want to be able to respect who I feel is going to be someone that I feel worthy of dating and someone who I feel has the kind of qualities that I'm looking for. Um, but I want that person to be someone that I trust with my children, with their, you know, just there's so much that can happen with kids. And I just feel like I want them to know that this person is a good role model for them. So there's a lot of different things when you do have younger children, even though they're young adults, they're still teenagers to me, right? They're still learning. Their brains don't evolve for another 7 years, 8 years. And even then I question that. So I just really feel like this would be probably a very big topic for a lot of couples that are coming together that have adult children. And I think resolving conflict the best way that you can. I'm not a fighter. I just don't give that energy. I don't like a lot of confrontation, but I don't back down. So I feel that the type of person that I am, I try not to, like if something really bothers me, I just talk about it. I say, this is where my head's at, and this is the way that I feel things, the direction things are going. But I had a tough time. My ex-husband was really not somebody that wanted to talk about everything. I was led to feel like I was crazy, like there was something wrong when the whole time I wasn't crazy. There was really a huge, a huge stumbling block that any marriage would have completely failed with, and it did. But I want to stop and avoiding any blame or bringing up old resentments, and I don't do that with him. I never do anymore. I don't. It doesn't bear any fruit. There's no reason for me to keep talking about it or mentioning it. We all know what happened, so it's to me kind of moot. It's water under the bridge. Everybody has moved on, so now we focus on solutions rather than finding out who was right, who was wrong. And I just find that I think with the right person, practicing and listening calmly, that's what I need. I need someone that's just got a calm presence so that if I start getting a little bit, they're going to be like, it's all right. Everything's fine. I do want someone that's going to be grounded, that has their crap together. I really don't want to find somebody who is a hot mess. I really don't need that. I'm not in a position to want to fix people, or like either you do the work to come into a relationship and be your best self. And there's a lot of resources out there to do it. You could sit in the comfort of your home and talk to somebody online. But if you've got unresolved anger, or maybe you're having trouble and you drink too much, or maybe you don't know how to resolve issues within families, or maybe there's parenting classes. There's a lot of great counselors and therapists out there that can help point you in the right direction. Because you almost do a disservice to yourself by not helping find a solution to make you as happy as you can be and be the best version of yourself, right? So the other thing too is expressing your gratitude and affection regularly. I could totally get used to this. I could really get used to somebody who I know loves me. I There came a time very early, very early, when I knew something was really wrong, and I actually called my mother-in-law and I said, I don't think he loves me anymore. And it was like weeks after I gave birth to twins. So it's really sad when you kind of overlook a lot of things. But at the same time, I think I was supposed to go through this because I was meant to finally care enough about myself. And I want you to do the same thing too. I hope that when you reflect on things that worked great for you in your life and the things that didn't, forgiveness goes a long way. And I spent a lot of time forgiving other people, but really what I needed to do was forgive myself for not believing in myself. right? For thinking that I deserve to be treated a certain way, or maybe I could fix something. Maybe I just didn't do something right, or what's wrong? Always asking what's wrong and apologizing. Apologizing for what? For being home and raising two lovely babies and taking care of my mother and working remotely when I could and keeping the house clean and cleaning and cooking and planning vacations and navigating all of our friend groups. And I did everything and anything I possibly could. And you come to a realization in your life that you are destined for something much better, and it's only going to come through the painful reality of knowing that you need to choose better. And by choosing yourself first, you're going to open up a whole world of not only friendships, just new things that you're going to fall in love with and start liking to do, and and build on that, build on how grateful you are. And even saying it to yourself, like I finally said to myself, I really love myself. It took me many years to realize that, but I have done so many things in my life and accomplished a lot of different things. And I just feel like I'm like, when I never even stopped to even look at some of the big things that I have ever done. Like I would have these huge wins or these big accomplishments, or really, I mean, just big projects that they wanted done at work, things that I did that other people that had been there 5 years just couldn't manage. And I did it. I did some very big things, especially when I worked for an elder law attorney. He talked about 3 huge projects that he wanted to do for 5 years. And guess who got all 5 done in 2 years? Thank you, me. So I wanted to celebrate myself. And I think you should celebrate yourself too. And I think when you come into a relationship and you feel like, wow, I feel so super grateful, I can make anything happen and make anything great. But it is a two-way street. So building a future together, no matter what our age is going to be, you want to set those goals. You really want to see, what dreams do you have? What is your idea of a healthy relationship? And I'm going to start asking a whole bunch of new questions. And I think you should too. Is like, just because someone asks you out, it's really like you're just kind of seeing, who are you and what are you about? What's your story? And, how is your life unfolded? And are you happy in your life? Because I feel like the happier we are, you can't really look for someone else to make you happy. If you're happy in your own right, and if you find happiness on your own, it's just a bonus to have somebody else that you can have fun with, laugh with. I mean, that's really what I'm looking forward to, is making plans, whether it's for a trip or sharing a home together, or just doing great weekends. I've seen and known of a few couples that live separately, like they have their own houses, and they're like, oh my God, it works so perfect. Which I could see. Like if you have your own things, your own space, your cat's there, and this person doesn't want a cat, I don't know. I feel like you just never really know. But talking about your goals and your dreams and how to enjoy life more fully, that is why we are here. So don't give up on yourself. It's never too late to have dreams and make things a reality. So I am sending you tons of love, a huge hug, and telling you that you are loved and you are safe. And I hope that we can start messaging. If you sent me a message and let me know that you are doing well, that you've met someone, or that you found a way to meet. There's some other videos that I did, how to make new friends, and that's another way to get out and socialize so that you can meet friends. So I wish you all the best, and I'll see you at the next video.